and welcome to yet another edition of WTF, otherwise known as What the Flip, What the Funk, What the French Toast, whatever you want to call it, just don't call it late for dinner. And as always, this show and others of the Jazzy Grooves Rainy Day podcast family are brought to you by the Power of Five, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But without any further ado, let's get into it. Today's topic is one that has been talked about quite a bit in the last 24 hours or so. And it is called Brittney Renner's Out of Control. Now, before we get started on that, I need to give you some background on Miss Renner. Miss Renner was a girl from Mississippi who went out to Los Angeles, got notarized, started dating very, very popular celebrities, including P.J. Washington, who's a famous NBA basketball player, had the man's child. I don't know if he broke up with her or she broke up with him, whatever. I'm not too sure of it. And then went on a tirade of, shall we say, inappropriate videos. And we'll leave it at that. I'm sure you can Google them. You can find them. They're all over you. You can YouTube search them, for crying out loud. But anyway, after starting to get backlash from pretty much everybody and their mother on the internet about this, she then did a apology tour where she went on Fresh and Fit, shout out to Myron and Walter. She went on Just Pearly Things, shout out to Pearl Davis. And a couple of the shows like that, attempting to rehabilitate her image. And then she went dark. Until a couple days ago, when she got online on a podcast called the I don't know what this podcast is called, but anyway. She got on the podcast. We don't know what she was on, but she was on something. And then turned the tomfoolery up to a 12. Now today we're going to focus morely on two content creators. We're going to concentrate on Donovan Sharp. Shout out to you, Donovan. And Pearl on Just Pearly Things. Shout out to you, Pearl. And we're going to dissect them dissecting the video. So this is going to be a reaction to a reaction video. And then afterwards we're going to dive into it and basically give our 2 cents worth on it for what it's worth. And then you can make your own decisions. Once again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a political pundit. I'm not any of those things. I'm simply a YouTube person who's calling it as he sees it and allowing you, the listener/viewer, to make your own decisions from it. And if you learn something from it, so much the better. Now we're going to get into the video. We're going to start off with Donovan Sharp in the Donovan Sharp Show. And we're going to see what he's talking about and pretty much go from there.
Niggas always want to... It's only niggas. It's only niggas. So yeah, I'm going to continue to advise men here in America that they have 3 options. They can either A, check out of the dating market, They can B, learn to deal with modern women as they are, not as they should be, or C, get your passport and go overseas. With new information, I have a right to change my opinion. Fuck out of here. These passport, I swear to God, these passport niggas, oh, they're hijacking our, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Like,
for proper context, he's talking about the recent phenomenon of passport bros and they're complaining and this, that, and the other thing. I don't see it that way. I see it where Western guys in general and American guys in particular are saying, I don't want to deal with these women anymore. I'm going to go overseas and I'm going to find my potential bride over there. And if they're smart, they stay there. Because once they bring her back, she'll become Americanized, and before you know it, you're dealing with an entirely new breed of woman, using the term loosely. And it's gonna make a bad situation worse, because now you brought someone who didn't think that way back to a place where everyone thinks that way, introduce her to it, and then it corrupts her as well. Remember the saying, and remember this throughout the entirety of this podcast. Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. I'll say that again. Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I'll be right back. Bear with me one moment, please. Okay, I'm back now. Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. And in the West, women have tasted power. And as the old saying goes, power corrupts. So it took something that was once, we'll say innocent. And turned it into something that is ugly beyond belief. Remember the words to Earth, Wind & Fire song, That's the Way of the World. A child is born with a heart of gold. Way of the world makes his heart turn cold. And that's the truth. Think about it for a second before we get back into this video. Think about this. A child born into the world knows nothing of hate. It knows nothing of anger. It doesn't know greed. It doesn't know jealousy. It doesn't know envy. It doesn't know sloth. It doesn't know any of the seven deadly sins. It doesn't know about evil. It doesn't know about anger. Only thing it knows is love. The love it has for his parents, and the parents have for him or her. Society molds the child. And that's in a best case scenario. Because in a best case scenario, you get two parents, or one if the head is on straight, that raises the child to the best of its abilities. But then you have outside influences that help mold the child. So best case scenario is that you teach it the best you can. You turn it loose and you pray for the best. Worst case scenario is you do what you can, because they'll be alright, because somebody will take care of them, because I got to look out for me. Now they're going to be molded by outside forces no matter what scenario you look at. It's just, does it going to be for good or for ill? But let's get back to the video.
Like, these niggas actually think that they're the ones that originated this. Dumb niggas. Henry West with the $5 New Zealand says this country is lost and I like America, but this should not happen. Your women are out of control. You are not kidding. Tony Esquire with the $5 super chat says with his $48 million Charlotte Hornets extension, PJ Washington could use this footage to gain full custody. Yes, he could. Harry West, another $5 New Zealand super chat says, I like the U.S., but these women are fully broken. I feel sorry for you boys. It ain't much better here, though. Yeah, that is very, very true. The Fit Comedian with a $5 super chat says, Passport Bro's been around for years. It's called Join the Armed Forces. Exactly. Exactly. Stephen Proctor.
And that's true. The armed forces were doing it long before the Passport Bros. I can't tell you how many guys were deployed overseas, fell in love, and wound up marrying the natives. It is what it is. Back to the video.
With the $5 super chat says, Charleston was quick to talk shit about how Myron handles women on the podcast, and here he is letting a 304 get out of pocket, typical blue pill.
Okay, and I do hate to keep stopping it like this, but I'm picking apart certain things that he's talking about that the viewers on the super chats are tweeting or chatting or whatever you want to call it. And that one was as true can get. Whatever his name is, Charleston White, whatever it is, was a good friend of Fresh and Fit. It was on this show quite a bit. They had a falling out. And he went on another podcast talking about how Myron was so rough and tough on the women and stuff like that. Which on his face is wrong because as he said himself, he's not rough. He simply mirrors the image, or the energy, I should say, that he's given. You come to him nice, he's nice as anything to you. You come to us sideways, watch your neck. Watch your neck. Because he's coming at you with the same energy as you're coming at him. And if you get too out of pocket, you're gone. And there are women who still go on the podcast trying to shoot their shot. Well, that's a topic we'll get into a little bit later. But that's not either here nor there. The point that the user was trying to make here was that he was talking all about how wrong Myron was for treating his girls like that. Then he's letting this 304, let's face it, if it walks like a hoe, talks like a hoe, looks like a hoe, more than likely it's a hoe. Let him walk over him. I mean, I want you all to very, very carefully watch him and his interactions with Ms. Renner. Because it tells a lot. It tells you that for all his bravado, he's a simp. For everything that he's said, for everything that he allegedly does, he's a simp. Because here he was on a podcast with her. She's out of pocket. He could have put her in her place at any time he liked. She even went so far as to throw water on one of his friends who just happened to be a professional boxer. 6'4", 265. Man could have snapped her like a twig. One punch and she's finished. And she's all been on ratchet with him because he's not going to hit her, and she knows it. That is the most frustrating thing about anything that you deal with women today. It's a lose-lose scenario. You either let them talk their talk. They're going to berate you. They're going to belittle you. They're going to call you every name but what God gave you. Or you can stand up for yourself, fight back, and run the risk of having all kinds of charges being thrown at you, cancellation, loss of your career, all this stuff. So you can't win. And shout out again to Fresh and Fit, because Myron and Walter have always said, you never hit a woman. But that being said, there's a growing group of men today who are like, I wish you would. Because I'll punch a bitch. I'll punch her. Now, I wouldn't do that. That's me. Because I believe I was raised better than that. But you can't roll into every situation thing that way, because there are people out there who aren't as nice as I am. They'll punch you just as fast as look at you. And then laugh at you as you falling down unconscious. It is what it is today. And you can thank women for that. Because there's only so much stupidity, so much contrarianism, if that's a word, so much consternation that a guy can take before he snaps. And there's, as I said before, there's a growing group of guys out there who don't even want to go that far. You're out of pocket? Let's go. You want to flex on me? Flex on these fists. And they'll hit you just as fast as look at you. And I'm going to call those brothers the I wish you would clan. Because that's what they say, that's what their motto is. I wish she would. I wish she would come at me sideways like that. How long do you think Brittney Renner would last on these streets today? Especially with these new young heads out. How long do you think she'd last? If she lasts more than 30 minutes, it's because she kept her mouth shut. And judging from what we've seen on this video we're watching, she sure can't do that. Let's get back to it.
I mean, I disagree. And I don't know that this is Charleston's podcast, but I mean, Brittney is, she's a walking viral moment, right? I mean, could he have checked her? Sure, but do you honestly think, in her drunken state, how do you think she would have reacted? She probably would have reacted physically. I'm not saying that her behavior is correct, but there is a reason Charleston White is smiling at Brittney rather than thinking, oh shit, this is out of control. He understands that what just happened is a viral moment, is going to get eyeballs on all of them. I agree with you, Steven. She should definitely have been checked, but because it's Brittney Renner, we let her dig her own grave. Again, Minister Jap and Coach EO at the top of the hour. Let's continue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I meant to hit this nigga.
Wrong guy.
Let me tell you
Wrong
something.
guy, champ. Wrong guy,
Shut the
champ.
fuck up. This right here is about to go. Let me tell you something.
We good.
Shut up when I'm fucking talking.
I wish she would. I wish she would. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we're going to call her for this video Byron. Because she's not acting like a Brittney. She's raising up She's cursing people out. She's trying to flex on people. And I don't care what Donovan says. He's smiling at her because he's thinking, oh, this is going to be good for ratings. You guys are going viral. You're welcome. And at the same time, you're empowering it. You're empowering it. So go ahead and smile at D because he doesn't do her any good. And as Melanie King, shout out to you, Mel. Hope you feel better, young lady. As she said in her podcast, when you don't check her and you laugh and giggle, that only gives her more power. Yeah, they like this. I'm going to keep it up. Or better yet, I'm going to turn it up. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to act my stereotype. All for the love of eyeballs. And she's raising her voice. She's cursing up a storm. She make a sailor blush. Watch.
Oh my
Yo,
God.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. I meant to hit that nigga. Because you sitting over here laughing.
And that's the other thing. If you noticed, she's not saying nigga, she's saying nigger with a hard R. We blacks don't even go there. We'll say ninja. We'll say nigga with an A. We didn't ever use the hard R, but she does. That by itself would give you a quick free pass to beat down Boulevard. I wish somebody would.
Chill. Relax.
I ain't chilling.
Relax.
Because the end
Is that NBA Jam in the background?
of the day,
Is that NBA? Oh shit. Damn. NBA Jam for the win. Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson.
it
What?
ain't your pussy. Hey, listen. I hear you.
Unbelievable. This is insane.
Hey, listen. That's fine. But guess what? You protecting him is what it is. Is it not? Is it not? Is it not?
She hit the wrong nigga
Hey,
champ.
don't be sitting over there laughing. Let me tell you, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to him right here.
Do you hear how this woman is addressing men who could literally break her in two? Like, this is insane. This woman is dude, this woman has assaulted a man. She's called two men out of their name. She's pointing, she's dictating, she's telling men to shut the fuck up. King Life says she's lucky dude ain't get up and knock her out. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you what. One of these days, Brittney's gonna fuck around and find out. She's gonna fuck around and find out, man.
True. Truer words have never been spoken. Fafo for the win. And he's still smiling. And she's disrespecting. See, the thing is with Charleston, and that's his name, Charleston White. The thing with him that makes me upset is that she's dissing his boy. And he's smiling. Wearing the bows before hoes. He's simping. And I know people won't call him that. And I know people will get angry with me for saying that. But it is what it is. I'm going to call a spade a spade. Homeboy's simping. because Brittney Renner gave me attention. And I don't know if you're going to see it here or if you're going to see it. You probably see it more in Pearl's video than on this one. But she does more than that. She is the poster child for whole tendencies. The poster child. Dictionary, whole child. See picture, pointing right at her. Let's get back to it.
I ain't talking about. Then Batman my shit. Then
Chap, she cool.
Batman my shit.
Apologies, Chap.
Batman my shit. That all right? Then shut the
Shannon
fuck
Briggs
up.
right here.
And you hear the guy saying, "It's all right, champ. It's all right, champ." Homeboy was a world champion boxer. World champion. And I wish I knew his name. I'll write it down in the chat later for those who are interested. But 6'4", 265. I'm 6 foot and he towers over me. He's a lot wider than I am. And I could snap her in half. And like Donovan said, she called 2 guys out their names. She assaulted one with a bottle, which is a projectile, which is a crime. And she's pointing, she's screaming, she's cussing. And notice how she goes from one extreme to the other. She might be on something, but I think this is her true colors coming through. This is what you get when the camera's off. When there's nobody to see it. Nobody to video it. No one to document it. This is what you get. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And again, hands up, art is me. I made a mistake, I'm taking it back. So be it. But she's yet to prove me wrong.
He said, I don't hit women. She says, all right, then shut the fuck up. Brittany, do you realize why he told you he doesn't hit women? Do you realize why he told you he doesn't hit women?
I'll tell you. And I'm sure he will after I'm finished. But his hands are registered as lethal weapons. One shot to the jaw, he's going to fuck up your whole day. Excuse me for the language, but this is what it's doing to me. This is what it's doing. And as much as I abhor violence, there's a part of me that kind of wishes somebody would step to her. Just to watch her slink away. Or better yet, she can stand up and get laid out. Because that's the only way she's going to understand this. You don't do things like that. There's a group of people out there, and we'll come back to this in a minute. There's a group of people out there where you can talk till you're blue in the face and they don't hear you. The only thing they understand is violence. Brittney Renner is one of those people. She understands violence. But she's immune to it because up to this point, I don't think she's ever seen it. You can punch a wall. Put a nice big indentation in it. and then look at her like, that could have been you. And maybe she gets it. But like I said, his fists are registered with the police as lethal weapons, which automatically prohibits him from using those things out in the street unless his life is in imminent danger. Because that's the threshold you must meet with all lethal arms. You or someone close to you must be in imminent danger for you to use them. And up to this point, she's never had to deal with that. And once again, shout out to Melanie. She said, you can put this on the feet of simps. And unfortunately, she's not wrong. Because actually, it's women and simps. Because women gave her the power to think that she could be what she wants, she could do what she wants with no repercussions from it. And simps sign on to it. Yeah, you go, queen, that's right. Don't take nothing from the guy. And if he treats you bad, I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm here to pick you up when you fall. And a very important question is asked later. We'll do a little bit more of this. We'll speed up on this. Then we'll go to Pearl. Then I'll ask my question.
Because in his mind, he's probably dangerously close to breaking that pact with himself. See, women like this, they're going to play with fire long enough until one of them gets burned badly. Like, badly. Like, guys...
We're talking 5-degree burns here.
I have broken the faces of men. Not something I'm proud of, but I'm not ashamed of it either. With my left hand, I hit this dude one time with my left hand. I gave him a grade 1 concussion and broke his orbital bone, part of his eye socket, just like that. This is another man who has higher bone density, higher testosterone, more muscle, etc., etc.
No, we're good. We're good.
Apologies, Chip.
At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck you talking about lady. I don't care. At the end of the day, nobody knows what I went through. Nobody knows what I'm going through. So nobody
gives a fuck what you're going through.
True that.
That's the problem. Ice Dragon Kid says she's lucky she isn't a man. That was more than enough for her. Oh, of course it is. But this is why, the reason why women continually assault men is because they know that we can't retaliate. And if we do, the consequences are not worth it.
you, him, whoever the fuck, you don't get to sit here and talk about shit. Ain't nobody drunk bitch talking about nothing.
Family.
What's up?
Family here.
What's up?
Whoa.
What's up? Those two words would sort of full on. I really wish somebody just came up to her. Didn't touch her. Just came up to her and said, what? What? What you got to say now? You're 2 seconds away from the beatdown of your life. What you got to say now? And I abhor violence. I don't like it at all. But as I've told people in the past, you can call me a teddy bear you want. Don't let me go grizzly on you. Don't let me go grizzly.
What's
This bitch is talking about what's up. What is she doing? What's up? Oh, like, what do you, are you trying to fight this nigga?
Now again, yeah. Because just before hands start flying, what do you want to say? What's up? What's up? then the hands start flying. I've seen people beat down for less than that. Less. You coming at people you don't know sideways. You don't know what any of these guys are capable of. You just riding the coattails of, I'm a woman, he'd never hit me. Right up to the point when someone actually does. Then what? What's up? What's up? You know, I don't understand anyone who can act this ratchet, this out of pocket, this out of control. And not be ashamed about it anyway. And I know she doesn't. Because if she does, she catches the, oop, let me stop. Or she'd start her apology tour again, if not today, tomorrow. Saying that she knows how she was a kid looks on the podcast. She's ashamed about it, this, that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 blah. An attempt to gloss it over. But I'm telling you, she's not ashamed of anything. No, she's not. And I challenge anyone to prove me otherwise. Like the podcast says, prove me wrong. Change my mind. The people on this podcast, and again, I don't know the name, but it's setting a very, very dangerous precedent. Because they're showing that if you're cute enough, you can say anything you want with no pushback. Even whatever, and you've heard me take Brian to task on this a couple of times, even he wouldn't let it go this far. At all. But I feel they're soft on their guests. Here you have a woman who is a known thot, a known throwful, as they like to say, a known hood rat. Ain't no shame in her game. She knows it. And according to this video, she's not afraid to show it. My thing is that she wouldn't act like this to another girl. Because it'd be on and popping. The minute she went, what's up? She would have got up and then her hands would have been flying. And here she's around 3, 4, 5, 6 guys who any of them could put the girl in traction. And she shows no fear. Why? Because she knows the Lord's on her side. That's why she's throwing bottles and she throws food. She throws pretzels at people. That's how out of control she is. Let's go a little bit further into this video.
Women are overgrown children. We say this all the time. We say this all the time. And when we say women are overgrown children, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. And then we see this on the screen. The Fit Comedian with the $2 super chat says he should have said, I'm a woman now. Yeah, right?
family here, guys.
Shut
All right.
the fuck up.
Family here,
All
guys.
right,
You don't like Brittney Renner.
There's that baby
Brittney
voice again.
Renner, we fuck with her. Shut
Who's got
the
music
fuck up.
playing? All right, let's relax.
Who says that? Besides the Sips. Who says that? I don't mess with you. I'm quite sure there are quite a few people who feel the same way I do. I didn't like you in the beginning. I didn't like you during your apology tour. And I sure as hell don't like you now. I like you even, like the song says, every day I like you a little less. And I don't like you. So now you're dealing in negatives. You're underwater now. The audacity. And Donovan's right. Shout out to you, Donovan. Women are overgrown children. Case in point. Exhibit A. For your inspection. Brittney frickin' Renner. I think she should be committed. There's something seriously wrong with her. I still think she should get punched. And I like violence. But in her case, I gladly make an exception. That's the only thing that she's going to understand. She's not going to be happy until she crumbs up on the wrong fool who then decides to bitch slap her. Knocks her head sideways and knocks the taste out of her mouth. Then maybe, she begins to get a realization. Maybe she gets an epiphany, but someone's going to have to force that epiphany upon her with an open hand slap.
Let's reset the room for a second.
Nah, don't reset shit. The fuck we on?
And they're laughing. She's effectively taken over the podcast. This is not a Brittney Renner project. She's effectively taken it over. Nobody's getting a word in edgewise. The moderator is attempting to rein it back in and failing miserably at it because he's not forceful enough. You want to get your podcast back? All right, Brittney. Calm down or get the fuck out. Don't want to get out? Security? Remove her from the premises. In the quote modern games, you can put your shoes on outside. You don't have to put them on in here. Just get out. Just go. And watch it get stupid. You want me to go? And right after that, you're going to get more belligerence. But it's on tape, so do what you gotta. There comes a point in time where content be damned. And it's way past that here. Way past it. This isn't funny anymore. It wasn't funny to begin with. When I first saw it, I was cringing. I was like, oh my God, what the hell's wrong with her? Ooh. Damn.
We don't
the motherfucking
Charleston,
Dancer Project, baby.
motherfucking Capricorn in the motherfucking building.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
let me tell you something. I don't care what you talking about, cause I really bad nigga in here shit.
Again, chooses it again. Think she gets a whole pass. I'm black, so I can say it. You sure about that, honey? You sure about that now?
No, this is my touch-up. Listen, let me tell you something.
This is a bad look. Like, this woman is drunk off her ass, man. Like, doesn't Brittney have handlers for this shit? Like, doesn't she have someone that she relies on to keep her from embarrassing herself? Like, at some point, someone's got to say and do something, right? Harry West with the 5 New Zealand super chat says she's a classic example of how a girl can open her. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, guys. How a girl can open her mouth and go down 7 points out of 10. Dre Raven with a $2 super chat says we need an old priest and a young priest. And with that, my guests are here. So let me go ahead and bring them up here. Give me 1 second. Wait a minute. Very good. I guess one is noticeably absent. Okay, there we go. All right, let me pull this up. All right. So, there we are. So, I am joined by Minister Japp and Coach Everett Overton. So, what's going on, guys? How we feeling today?
Hey, what's up, brother? How are you, man?
I'm doing
Japp,
good, man.
D? Yeah. I've been watching the show. Good show so far.
Yeah,
and,
man.
It's really a shame. I heard what you just said. Doesn't she have somebody there to kind of look after her and
Yes.
you know, some sort of representative? And 'cause this is a terrible look. I've actually known girls that have done this in the past. Many of them were in the bar.
Did you see that? She threw a ball at somebody. That's beyond rational thought. That's pure naked aggression manifesting itself. That right there should have got her kicked off the podcast. She doesn't throw one, she throws it twice. She throws food all over the place at people. By itself, if that's a guy, he's got to go. I'll even go so far as to say if that's on another show, she's gone. But I tell you, it wouldn't happen on another show. She did this show because she felt she could do anything that she wanted to, and she'd be fine. She wouldn't do that on Fresh and Fit. Might kick her out. She wouldn't do that on Just Pearly Things because Pearl would kick her out. King Richards, shout out to you, King Richards, who also shot this video, was also said, I wouldn't tolerate it. Ratings be damned. You're not acting a fool on my show. Because then you got the other side of it to look at. And that simply is, who's in control here? Who's running this cluster? Is anyone in charge? You got a guest who's effectively hijacked your show. And the best thing you can do is, all right, let's try to reset it. No. Hold it. This is not your show. Either bring it back in or you can get out. Either bring it back down, turn it down somewhat, or you can go. And based on the next thing that she did, be like, all right, go. Goodbye. Bye-bye. So long. But no. This makes good content. You're going to go viral. Keep it rolling. And now it's going to seriously impact and curtail you getting guests on the show of any caliber, any sort of quality. Because who knows when he's going to invite someone like Brittney Renner back on his show. And do you want to be there for that? Do you really want to be there for that? I mean, oh my goodness. I'm still stunned by it. It's like, OMG. Now we're going to go next to just pearly things. Let me just get it up here. Okay, not yet. Okay. Here we go. We get you back into it. Here we go.
That she really regretted a lot of the men that she slept with and a lot of the decisions she made.
And people that I shared my body with, when I think about my list, it's repulsive because they didn't deserve it. But that was an outcome of me discounting my worth. And it's disgusting.
Notice she used the words, they didn't deserve it. Keep that in your mind.
I hate even having that spiritual tie in any type of way. But yeah, I would absolutely change sexually how I move around. And not even necessarily because of like the societal outcome. It's more so from my self-worth.
And I just want to point out why men don't accept our apologies. I just kind of want to, and I like Brittney. Like she was nice on the show. I got no issues personally with her.
I beg to disagree on that.
But the issue, the trend that we see is that women will have an apology tour, or basically say they regret all these decisions, but then return to the streets later. So why don't we pull up the clip of her on Charleston White's podcast?
Okay, it's the Dancer Project, but it's Charleston White's podcast, which makes it even worse. because you're smiling, laughing, and being extra, this, that, and the other thing, and it's your podcast. So she's disrespecting you. And watch this video. Watch it. Because this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to let it play. I'm not going to stop it at all. And afterwards, we're going to talk about it.
You know, moist is one thing, but wet is just another. It ain't what we shooting for. You know what I mean?
Isn't that?
Miss Ma'am.
No,
Miss
come on,
Ma'am.
please. Come on, man, please. Come on,
I
man,
need you
please.
I need you to be kind and respectful to my guests. Oh, where that pig poker at, man? Go ahead and get the pig poker out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I didn't do nothing for that. Oh, that's. Wait a minute, Miss Renner.
All right, chill. There's a lot of equipment in here.
Wow.
We sauced up.
What I miss?
For behaving. That's for to be
All right. Landon, the stream is now for fucking private. Put it private. What did you do to get water poured on you?
I'm just being myself, Claire.
Okay.
Man, it's fucking soft. Ow.
Ma'am, I did nothing but bless you. I called you nothing but ma'am and Miss Renner.
All right.
Really? Really? Gave Charleston White a thyroid. Then you got up after you twerked on his dick. Although I think it was more of a dry hump than twerking. And then you pour water on the host, and then you pour water on Charleston. In what universe is that acceptable behavior? Let's get back a little bit more, and that's all I'm going to do on her.
I left for it.
You know what's funny? If a girl was saying no, and a guy went on to a girl, that would be assault. But we get so much privilege as women. Like, imagine if a guy went in, starts twerking on a woman, and like pours water everywhere. I just want to point, not that, I mean, I don't think they're traumatized by it. I'm just being honest. But like, I just want to point out the double standard and how women can behave badly and not really have any real consequence till at some point her looks are going to go and this isn't going to be cute anymore.
And I'll tell you this much, bro. It ain't cute now. And this was said on quite a few podcasts that had reactions on this video of Miss Red acting out of pocket. That's somebody's mother. Let that sink in for a minute. That's P.J. Washington's child's mother. Acting like a straight up whore. It is what it is. No shame to her game. No nothing. And she knew what she was doing. I don't want to hear anybody saying she didn't know. She knew. It was her choice to come on that show wrecked. It was her choice to answer the PJ Washington question, which allegedly started the whole thing. It was her choice. No accountability whatsoever. Unstinking believable. And I don't get it. I just don't get it. Just when you thought you've seen it all. Just when you thought, all right, she's gone. Maybe she learned her lesson. Maybe she'll get better. She goes and does this. And all this was done for clout and attention. The inebriation just made it easier for her to do it. She can always come back later and say, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. I was drunk. Bullshit. You knew what you were doing. You just applied liquor on it to make it come off easier. Every word out of your stinking mouth was your own. No one put those words in your head. Your blatant disregard for people you don't even know. Your utter disdain for people who have the audacity of not agreeing with you. People were laughing. As was stated on Melanie's podcast, they could have been laughing at something else. They could have been laughing at something somebody else did or said. Because a lot of times, people will laugh at things that have nothing to do with you. You have that little control that if that can set you off, maybe you ought to reevaluate your life choices. Maybe, just maybe, you don't need to be outside. Because you don't know how to act. I don't understand how she got this far. And it still comes back to, as was stated by Donovan, where were her people? Someone should have been there from her camp that would be like, oh no, cut the feed, we're getting her out of here. They could have mitigated the damage somewhat. And then put out press release later, when she was on a podcast, she was under the weather. Any kind of BS thing, because then people will hear, you get some reaction for it, but then it would die down. This is going to be in the cycle, in the news for quite some time. Because you just don't act that way. You don't. You talk out the side of your neck. You do everything in your power to derail a conversation. You effectively hijack a podcast without a hint of shame. Well, there's a saying, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Or more to the point, stupid is what stupid does. and the quote public enemy, you're going to get yours. Of that, I have no doubt. You're going to cross the wrong person at the wrong time on the wrong day and catch a fife of a FAFO. Fuck around and find out. Fuck around, you find out. I don't know how we got here. I don't want to know. She is an extreme example of what not to be in a woman today. I can already hear people shouting from the rooftops, you go, Brittney. You tell those guys how to do things. You show them what's up. She didn't show anybody anything. She came real close to showing us how to catch these hands. She came real close to that. But other than that, what did she show? Nothing. We're doomed. There, I said it. Because this is becoming more and more acceptable in today's society. Without any accountability. You can say whatever the frick you want. You don't have to worry about anything. That's the situation that men face with women today. They can say whatever they please. Whatever they want. With absolutely no accountability, no pushback, no consequences whatsoever. And to that I say, whatever. This is going to sound really mean, but I don't give a fuck anymore. I got mine. As I've told you all on many occasions. I am happily married to a wonderful wife with 2 beautiful children. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be just fine. You guys out there just getting into the dating world and those who are dating now, good luck. If you can get your money together and emigrate to another country to find your prospective mate, do so. Do so. Because you're not missing anything here. And I know I normally tell you I don't give advice. But in this instance, with this particular scenario that we painted, if we're going to get more and more people like Brittney Renner in our faces, there's no point in being here. There's no point. You can say what you want. You can do what you want. It's not worth it. Let's call it, because I can't even think straight at this point. One of the things that make WTF different from other podcasts I do, it allows me to show my full range of emotions. And you've seen anger, you've seen bewilderment, you've seen amusement. But you've never seen anger at this level. I hate her. And I know that's a strong word, but I hate her. And I don't normally talk about people like this. Normally, I'm indifferent. But this one? Nah, B. Got nothing but hate for you, baby. Nothing but hate. I don't wish anything bad upon her. I will say that. But if something does happen, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not cheering for her downfall. I'm not wishing ill will upon her. I'm not going out of my way to disrespect her. None of that. She is a human being after all. But if something were to happen to her, and she had her come to Jesus moment, her epiphany, I wouldn't be surprised. And I just might smile a little.